Before I close public hearing number 1, do we have anyone that wants to speak in behalf of local law number 12 of the year 2022 to amend Charter 11 of the city code relative to towing fees, storage fees, and towing service insurance coverage? If not, I will close public hearing number 1. Public hearing number 1 is closed. Public hearing number 2. Proposed local law number 13 of the year 2022 to amend Article Section 238 of the city code relating to smoking on public property. Do we have anyone willing to speak in behalf of public hearing number 2? I have 3 individuals signed up, but I'm not sure exactly which one they want to speak with about. Okay, if you'd like to come up to the podium, please.
Evening.
If you'd like to state your name and address for the record.
Absolutely.
Oh, all right, I'm sorry.
I don't think, can you guys hear me? Now we can. My name is Tristan, and I would like to make a comment on the public smoking, that you guys are going to be voting on today, as it pertains especially to Main Street. I live right on Main Street, so it's, it's right at home for me. I think the rule is, although it will inconvenience the minority, I think the majority will benefit greatly from it. I have a young child and we walk up and down Main Street all the time. And one of the things that I worry about is that secondhand smoke, because you do see people once, twice, 3 times during that walk where I had to maybe cross the street, or, and I can't tell him to hold his breath. He's 2 years old. So that's one of the main points for me. But bottom line is, I mean, if you lay out the pros and cons, the pros definitely outweigh the cons when it comes to the positivity of this this law. So I just wanted to express how I felt about it. And I think just feelings aside, inconvenience of the minority, I think that's how, democracy works, where the majority is going to benefit the majority. And I think I'll be happy to see that you guys, vote in a positive way with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Tristan. Do we have anyone else that wants to speak tonight? Please approach.
Thank you. My name is Rebecca Smith. I live at 15 South Franklin Street. I'm in support of this new law, the tobacco law. Number 1, tobacco use remains the #1 preventable cause of death and illness. There is no safe level of exposure of secondhand smoke. We know that tobacco is the only thing sold legally in America that does nothing good for us. Cigarette butts and vape cartridges are a major source of litter on Main Street and other places in the city. With this policy, you will create a more welcoming and accessible environment for all Portland County residents and those who come into Portland County. And it fits right in with the downtown revitalization product. And it enhances curb appeal and improve our image of Portland, especially downtown. You support the efforts of tobacco users attempting to quit by implementing this new law, and demonstrate to future generations that using these products aren't desirable and acceptable. And I work with hundreds of youth in the city of Portland every day. And their biggest question to me is, Ms. Smith, why do you tell us not to use any kind of substances when they're putting vape shops one after another, after another, after another, after another downtown Portland? That's all they see these days. Based on past survey of Portland County residents from the Portland County Health Department, there's always been a high level of support for making smoke-free public spaces in the downtown area. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. Do we have anyone else that wishes to speak on behalf of public law number 2 tonight? Once again, proposed local law number 13 of the year 2022 to amend article section 238 of the city code relating to smoking on public property. Do we have anyone that else to speak on behalf of this? I've got to read this one more time for the record. Proposed local law number 13 of the year 2022 to amend article section 238 of the city code relating to smoking on public property. Do we have anyone else that wishes to speak tonight regarding this topic? Public hearing number 2 is now closed. I'd like to call the meeting to order, November 1st, 2022. Would all please rise that are able to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
Call the roll call. Councilmember Scott.
Present.
Councilmember Silliman.
Here.
Councilmember Pinello.
Present.
Councilmember Lane.
Here.
Councilmember Thompson. Here. Councilmember Carpenter. Here. Councilmember Beckwith.
Present.
Councilmember Michaels.
Here. I'd like to have a moment of silence and reflection for world peace. Thank you. Proclamations, presentations. We do have one proclamation tonight. Recognition of November 26, 2022 as Small Business Saturday.
Resolved that the mayor and common council do hereby proclaim November 26, 2022 as Small Business Saturday in the city of Portland and urge residents in our community and communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and throughout the year.
Tonight, we also have a presentation by our city police chief.
I think most of you know me. I'm Detective Lieutenant Daniel Edwards with the Portland City Police Department. I've been asked to give out 3 division commendation awards to 3 officers for outstanding service to the community tonight. So I'll get right into it. First officer is Officer Melissa Taylor. And I'll read you the letter. She was recognized by Sergeant Patrick O'Donnell, and the letter was written by Lieutenant Cheyenne Q. I would like to take this opportunity to commend you on a job well done in regards to your handling of a suicide death investigation on August 22nd, 2022 on Madison Street. Due to the nature of the investigation and emotional stress that this type of call puts on officers, you handled this particular situation with dignity and professionalism that is expected with the deceased and his family. This call was not originally assigned to you. However, you took the lead from a junior officer who was having a difficult time with the circumstances. Even though you had already handled a similar situation the previous day, your efforts, compassion, and empathy were recognized by Sergeant Patrick O'Donnell. This investigation is just a small sample of the dedication and determination you portray in your duty on a day-to-day actions. It is actions like yours that uphold the good reputation of this police department. Your professionalism and dedication to the public do not go unnoticed by this department's administration, nor by the citizens that you serve. Once again, congratulations on a job well done. This division letter of commendation will become a permanent record in your file. And I will share this accomplishments with the police commission, mayor, and common council. Sincerely, Lieutenant Cheyenne Q. Officer Commendation Award goes to Officer Corey Olson. Excuse me. This letter was also written by Detective Lieutenant Cheyenne Q. I would like to take this opportunity to commend you on a job well done in regards to your handling of a fraud investigation that commenced on August 8, 2022 at a pizza mall. Due to the nature of the complaint and potential charges, you had the option to simply entertain the complaint, write it up, and forward the investigation onto the Detective Bureau. That being said, this is not what you did. You not only further investigated the incident over the course of 2 weeks, you also followed through with additional leads, obtained supporting depositions from the complainant, interviewed witnesses, identified and located the suspect, and made certain that an arrest could be made. Your efforts were recognized by Detective Sergeant Sean Burns, the investigator assigned to this case, once you completed and ended your investigation. This investigation is just a small sample of the dedication and determination you portray on your day-to-day actions. It is actions like yours that keep the community safe and uphold the good reputation of this police department. Your professionalism, persistence, and dedication to justice and to the public do not go unnoticed by this department's administration, nor by the citizens you serve. Once again, congratulations on the job well done. This division letter of commendation will become a permanent record of your personnel file, and I will share these accomplishments with the police commission, mayor, and common council. Sincerely, Lieutenant Q. We have one more award. It's going to be going to Detective Sergeant Sean Burns, who would not be able to be with us due to a family obligation tonight, but I told him I would recognize him and give his award to him later. This is kind of a two-part letter. One of it's the facts and details, the other is my letter of recommendation for his award. On August 15th, at about 4:45 a.m., Sergeant Burns was the on-call detective. He was contacted by the officer in charge who advised him of a burglary at the ARC office at Crawford Street. The suspect had gained entry by smashing out a door window and while inside stole numerous computers and tablets with a value of well over $3,000. Sergeant Burns responded to the scene and began his investigation. He reviewed what security footage they could obtain at that time. He attempted to lift fingerprints and continued his investigation at the scene. A few hours later, Sergeant Burns was back at the station processing evidence and decided to go back out and try and patrol the area to find the suspect. Sergeant Burns, a short time later, spotted a subject on South Main Street that was carrying a similar backpack as the burglary suspect had in the video that he had obtained. With only this information, he initially stopped this subject who was uncooperative. Sergeant Burns' investigative and interview skills came into play during this encounter with the suspect. Sergeant Burns was able to get the suspect to cooperate with him, and it was found that he was carrying 8 hours later, still the stolen computers, laptops, and backpacks in the backpack that he had on his back. He was able to arrest the suspect and charge the suspect quickly and successfully within a short period of time, which brought great respect by myself for his interview skills on that day. It's my privilege to commend him for the manner in which you performed your duties on August 15, 2022 regarding the arrest of a burglary suspect. During the months of July and August, the city of Portland experienced numerous residential and commercial burglaries with very few leads or suspects being developed. However, because of your hard work and diligence, you were able to obtain evidence which led to the arrest of a suspect on felony charges and the recovery of thousands of dollars of stolen property. The effort you put forth in the investigation is a credit not only to you as an officer, but to the City of Portland Police Department. The time you have been assigned to the Detective Bureau, you have demonstrated willingness to work on difficult cases and exhaust all avenues in completing a thorough investigation. You have been an asset to the Detective Bureau, and I look forward to working with you in the future. A copy of this letter will be forwarded to the Chief of Police for placement in your personnel file, along with a recommendation for this division accommodation. The chief will also bring this matter to the attention of the Police Commission at their next scheduled meeting. Once again, congratulations on the job well done.
Thank you. next we have the privilege of the floor. We do have a list of speakers. I believe that this is what they wanted to sign up for. First on the list is Connie Sorrell.
I'm Connie Sorrells. I'm a city taxpayer and a city employee. And when I was printing off this 14-page agenda, I was struck by something that concerns me. I chose not to speak about the smoking law that you want to read back, a private issue in my mind. But what isn't a private issue is that more and more every day, you, as the council, pass resolutions without any conversation publicly as to how you plan and who you plan to have enforce all of these new resolutions that you're putting into place. I am a city employee. I work in a very stressful floor. I talk to many, many employees, and every day I hear how they don't have enough people, they can't get all the work done, and it just keeps getting piled and piled on. I don't know what good it is to pass all of these resolutions if you don't have the manpower to enforce them. And that's just my opinion, but I think it deserves some consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. We also have a Kathy Olmstead.
Yes, my name is Kathy, and I live on Woodland Ave in the city of Portland. And I wanted to, perhaps we've already discussed about the blue bag situation and what our future, and how is it going to be paid for? Are we, the residents, going to pay for it weekly? Are we going to pay, in taxes, and if so, how much? I haven't heard any.
We do have a committee that is looking into this. Tonight on the agenda, we do have a hauler that we're considering, and we will vote on that tonight. Regarding blue bags, I guess everybody's used to pay as you go. All this is gonna be absorbed into your taxes. You're not gonna see a fee every week like you would if you were purchasing blue bags.
So it'll just be a flat rate increase on the taxes.
It depends, whether the city can absorb that cost or not.
All right, thank you.
Yep, only time will tell. But right now, we're headed for new territory. We are changing garbage collection from what we all know it for several years now with blue bags. So only time to tell how this is gonna shake out.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Susan? Yeah. I actually spoke with council earlier this evening to make sure I was reading the verbiage correctly. And at this point, cannot guarantee it, but as is, this should not affect your taxes in an adverse way at all. It looks like, and I have to say that because it's not done yet. It should all be done without increasing taxes, which is part of why I'm behind it.
In addition, that committee is getting back together to finalize the actual resolution and what will be contained there.
Anyone else? Okay, next we're gonna move on to ward reports. I can sit here and talk about what the mayor has done in the last couple of weeks. But I'll let him do that at the next meeting. I have been shadowing him. Several events, several meetings. And believe me, he's keeping busy. So we're gonna move on to the ward reports now.
Just quickly on the finance reports, just to note the financial statements have been provided to the council. And most of the public to their website.
Yes.
Yes, and there are times and dates noted in your agenda tonight. First round will be starting tomorrow night, and we'll go over that when we get to that agenda item. Thanks, Andy. Ward 1.
Ward 1 has had some additional contact over the last few weeks as I've been researching what the constituents would like as far as this new smoking law, which has brought me into more contact than normal with the people in Ward 1. We've had some people very happy with the way that the speeds on their streets have come down. We've also had some people who are very upset with the speeding on their streets. Most of this can be explained away with all the road work that's being done over there as people are rerouted, they get put on a new road. It kind of looks like a racetrack. It's fun. DPW's been doing a really good job. Unfortunately, maybe too good. It's really smooth. These people like to put the pedal down. The police department has deployed a cart just outside of the ward, which has actually helped on a couple of the local streets. They've had a great presence over there, which has helped slow some people down, which has been nice. And that's been taken care of very well. The mayor and I discussed the new stop signs that went in months ago and a few issues that have happened with those. Those have been taken care of. Very happy that that's going on. Did do some further investigation, as I mentioned at the last meeting. Some needles and syringes in around the park area. Boarding has been brought to my attention. There was no further needles found as I took my second trip down, but I did find 2 syringes with no needles. Now, maybe they were there the first time and I missed them. I took a little bigger walk this time. Those again, picked up with leather gloves, taken to a disposal facility, but they were found. Also have a couple people who now walk their dogs and with flashlights in the evening, in the ward, down the creek side. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I think the higher traffic and visibility is helping to push some of these people who may not be doing the most legal things or healthy things out of the area. Thus, I have not found but the 2 syringes, which may have been there before, but no needles found. We did have, again, for DPW, we did have, again, a constituent. Well, I guess they are our clients. We're working for them. Our constituent call in and say what a wonderful job they've done. They couldn't believe how well they had leveled the manhole covers. They no longer bounced going down some of the main thoroughfares through the ward. And I'll tell you, my car's appreciating it as well. Other than that, I think we're pretty well set in the ward. That's about all we've got to report at this point.
Okay, thank you, Wayne. Ward number 2.
I'm sorry. I have not heard much from the constituents in Ward number 2. Apart from noise with the wonderful weather we've been having, noise at night from our rental houses, especially around Halloween, as you can imagine. Still have a lot of kids in these neighborhoods. And we'd appreciate it if people would be more considerate of their neighbors and be aware that if you're going to play music and amplify it, you have to have a permit for that. I would like to commend the fire department for their speedy response to the Queens Linen fire, which I understand was caused by wind buildup, much as you might have at home. So I want to tell everybody, check your drivers. You know, take precautions. so that the fire department doesn't pay a visit to your house. And I want to thank the police department for doing their very best to keep our neighborhoods safe and civil. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Katie. Ward number 3.
So all's been quiet in the third ward. I'm still researching waterworks and the trails and working with DEC and former DEC employees. So that's still in motion, but other than that, third ward's been quiet for the last few weeks.
I'm used to just sitting here while somebody else announces it. Ward number 4.
Pretty quiet in Ward 4. The police department did place the radar cart up by the Red Dragon end of last week. It unfortunately was not functioning. I mean, it wouldn't tell you how fast you were going, but the red flasher did work, and people were putting on their brakes. I understand from the chief that it's going to be fixed and we'll be putting it back up there. But people were slowing down just with the red flash.
That's good. Thank you, Pat. Ward number 5.
Thank you, Tom. Basically in the ward, pretty much quiet. There's a lot of trees in Ward 5. A lot of trees, so it's a love-hate relationship based on the constituents that I've been talking with. Just around cleanup, and so sometimes it can be dangerous. Again, similar to snow, the leaf piles in the neighborhood, so how high they get, and obviously kids trick or treating last night. Some of them, I said one kid fell in the so they had fun, but it can be a dangerous situation. But other than that, it's all quiet.
Thank you, Seth. Ward number 7. 6.
All quiet in 6. I want to thank Nick Dolby and Al for that great that little pathway around Newman Park. They were paved. It's really nice, and everybody was being well used. It's really nice. Yeah, look at that one. It's really nice. It's a little zigzag in it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Bill. Ward number 7.
Zigzag, are they following the stripes?
Yeah, zigzag.
Very nice. All quiet in the 7th one.
Okay, ward number 8. Just a few things. This past week, we had a award icon come down. There was a tree that's been in the neighborhood for 100+ years. We had Nelson's tree service take it down. It took them actually 3 days to do this job. My neighbor and myself, we made an attempt to count the rings on the tree. We got up to around 106, but supervisor told us that the larger rings may have smaller rings in them that can't be visible. So you have to have a magnifying glass. So we're between 100 and 125 years old. Also, we had a couch that we had to dispose of on one of our side streets, along with some construction items. Also want to point out that these pickup started this week. It'll commence probably up until the snow flies. So if you do have leaves ready, let's get them out to the curb before it does snow. Next, we have approval of the minutes for October 18th, 2022. We have a motion to receive the minutes. Katie, we have a second. Bill. Roll call.
Councilmember Scott.
Aye.
Councilmember
Still,
Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. I have, resolutions on my list.
So agenda item number one, adopt local law number 12 of the year 2022 to amend chapter 11 of the city code relative to towing fees, storage fees, and towing service insurance coverage. Resolved that the common council does hereby adopt local law number 12 of the year 2022 to amend chapter 11 of the city code relative to towing fees, storage fees, and towing service insurance coverage. And be it further resolved that the text of said local law shall read as follows. I'll read reading of that text.
Do we have a motion? Wayne, do we have a second? Troy. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith,
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 2.
Adopt local law number 13 of the year 2022 to amend article 238 relating to smoking on public property. Resolved that the common council does hereby adopt local law number 13 of 2022 to amend chapter 238 of the city code relating to smoking on public property. And be it further resolved that the text of said local law shall read as follows. We've been reading that text.
Any discussion on this item? I do have a piece that I would like to read.
End discussion.
All right,
I'll make the motion.
make the motion, Troy, Billy second. Now discussion.
I got one quick thing.
All right, I'll read mine first. Okay. All of us received an email by Jennifer Hamilton on October 20th, 2022. Jennifer is our Portland County Health Department. She's with the Tobacco Free Zone, Portland, Tompkins, and Shenango. There's a survey that was done back.
For stealing their lead.
And it relates to
Came to the board that night, presented that to us all.
yes, you did. And it had to do with public smoking on grounds of public buildings and workplaces, outdoor public places such as parks, outdoor public places such as community events and festivals, and all units and areas, MUDS. All these surveys were well above results based on percentages of those in favor versus those who are against. There are just a few don't knows, but the majority of those individuals were in favor of all these items that I just mentioned. So, does anyone else have anything to add regarding this? Troy does.
Just one quick thing, just to remind everybody. We took an oath here. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter, I don't, you want to say this wrong. I'm not gonna say what I want to say. Just remember, we take an oath. Health and safety is our number one priority. So your personal beliefs. You can't take them in play here or the other people's beliefs. Health and safety is an issue here. We've seen it.
Wayne?
So this was really heated in my ward. And I was told to consider those people that it would affect the most, being some of the business owners on Main Street. I spoke to 7. It was 4, 2, and 1. Vote for it, vote against it, and I don't care. All right, I ran on, it's not about the party, it's about the people. I'm here to represent the people that elected me. So as I went around my ward, it was very heated. It was very close. I will not tell you which way until we vote, but I'm going to vote with the majority of the people. There was 25 that either contacted by myself or contacted me. The people I tried to contact that got back to me, and it was 14 to 11. I consider that close in a ward. I think this is an issue that is important. I think that we, yes, do need to stick to our oath. We need to represent our people and do the best thing that we possibly can for the community. I've been back and forth on this for weeks now, since it first came up, over a month now. And I am glad that the people in my ward spoke up and had opinions. Whether I agreed with all of them, any of them, doesn't matter. They all had an opinion, and they fell into 2 categories, which made this slightly easier. With that said, we'll find out what they said in a minute. Show the commercial.
Do anyone else?
Back to live TV.
For me, again, talking with constituents, hearing, last week's public hearing. All the citizens of our city, they have personal rights. Some of these folks are affected by where they live at on Main Street. Heard from a resident on Main Street tonight. Health and safety is paramount for our city. And so someone's bigger Wayne. We'll see if I'm.
As our downtown, starts to, progress of, all the construction going on. Some of us, expect to see more outside eateries than what we have right now. So this is, something to, consider also. So, we're gonna start with a roll call. In favor?
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Definitely aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Approved.
Okay, agenda item number 3.
Receive the tentative 2023 budget is submitted by the mayor and set dates for budget review meetings, public hearings, and adoption of proposed and final city budget. Resolved that for the purposes of fulfilling its duties pursuant to Article 21, Section C 21-8 of the city charter, the common council will hold public review meetings, which shall be open to the public in the mayor's conference room on the 3rd floor of City Hall, 25 Court Street, Portland, New York. Video streamed via Zoom. On the following dates, November 2nd at 6 p.m., November 3rd at 6 p.m., November 9th at 6 p.m., November 10th at 6 p.m. And be it further resolved that on or before November 15th, 2022, the council shall make any modifications to the tentative budget as submitted by the mayor. And be it further resolved that on November 15th, 2022, during its scheduled regular meeting, the common council shall approve by resolution a proposed 2023 city budget. Be it further resolved that at 6 p.m. on December 6, 2022, prior to its scheduled regular meeting, the common council shall hold a public hearing on the proposed city budget. And be it further resolved that on December 20th, 2022, during its scheduled regular meeting, the council shall by resolution adopt a final 2023 city budget.
There is one thing I want to add. The SPCA has we've allotted a slot for them for November 3rd at 7:30. And we can now move on to roll call.
So we'll take a motion.
I'll also move.
Second.
Very clear. Wayne, seconded. We have any discussion? This this packet is large in nature so that everyone can go through it.
Yes, I've seen it all, it's nice.
Yes, yes, we can thank Andy for that.
And it's also showing last year's proposed and adopted budgets and then this year, so it's juxtaposed
Yeah.
last year to this year.
I'll call the roll. Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan, Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 4.
Authorize the city assessor to conduct a citywide reevaluation for the 2023 final assessment roll. Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council does hereby authorize Assessor Brian Fitz to conduct a reevaluation of all locally assessed properties in the city of Portland.
Do we have a motion? Pat? Second, Seth? Discussion?
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 5.
Reappoint Sharon Stevens to the Portland Housing Authority Board. Resolved that Sharon Stevens is hereby reappointed to the Portland Housing Authority Board for a term beginning October 28, 2022 and expiring December 31st, 2025.
I so move.
Wayne, Troy second, discussion?
I'd like to say that I know Sharon Stevens, and she is a wonderful person who has been a long time city resident and has spent a great deal of her personal time contributing to city boards and commissions. And I'm really pleased that she has stepped up once again and will be reappointed.
I'll second Katie's comment. Many of us have known Sharon for a number of years.
Item number 6, real quick, I think that should be adjourned. Hasn't got any prior approval yet, the code departments, right?
Don't we have to finish?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll call the roll. Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith,
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Now, agenda item number 6.
Authorized letter in support of senior housing project proposed by the Portland Housing Assistance Council. Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council does hereby convey its support for Portland Housing Assistance Council's proposal to develop 53 units of accessible and affordable senior housing, and authorizes the mayor to write letters in support to the New York State Homes and Community Renewal and other such agencies which may provide supporting initiatives.
Now, I want to recognize Shauna Brunel tonight. She wishes to speak on behalf of this proposal. Please keep in mind that this is just preliminary at this point. They have a ways to go, but Shauna will certainly bring us up to date of where they're at.
Hi, I'm Shawna Grinnell. I'm the Executive Director of Portland Housing Assistance Council. And we own and manage 43 units of affordable housing in the city of Portland. And for many years, we've been looking into doing affordable senior housing. And it's always been one obstacle after another. We found a site on River Street over the summer. Things just kind of fell into place. We have a development team with an architect, an engineer, contractor. I have a consultant that has been doing affordable housing for many years. And we did a market study. There is definitely an overwhelming need for affordable housing for seniors. So we are hopefully going to propose a grant on December 6th to the state, asking for funding so we can construct. It's a 3-story building. It's gonna have 53 units. It's just for seniors 62 years of age and older. It's affordable housing. It's not subsidized housing. For a 1-person household, income cannot exceed 32,760. For a 2-person household, the income cannot exceed 37,440. It's going to have off-street parking, on-site laundry facility, a wellness room, a bike room. There will be property manager who we will hire that will be there 40 hours a week. We'll have a maintenance supervisor who will be on call 24/7 for emergencies. So at this point, we're just asking for support from the city that we can include in our application to the state. If anybody has any questions or.
Does any, okay, recognize,
At what point in time will a rendition or square footage be available?
I have that now. We actually came a couple weeks ago to the city planning commission. And we have an appointment or meeting on the 16th, I think, of November to go to the county. And then we're bringing it back to the city on the 28th. But I do have some renderings available, so want me to make them available.
I would just like to acknowledge that, based on the demographics that I've seen across New York State, there's a growing number of folks that are in that population demographic, and growing.
Right.
It's one of the growingest demographics out there.
Yeah.
I believe they're called baby boom.
I would say,
Yes. I believe they fall into that category.
They, yeah, not you, they,
They, yes.
those people, those people.
We have anyone else wish to speak on this agenda item?
So this would just be a letter saying we're interested in having pursue the grant.
Yes, this is all preliminary at this point. This is just to kick off the work that's ahead of them that needs to be done prior to this.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Anyone else? Roll call?
Call the roll. Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
I'll abstain.
One abstain. I'm aye.
Councilmember Michaels, aye.
Okay, agenda item number 7.
Authorized agreement for the collection of trash and recycling within the city of Portland with Blue Moose Sanitation Services. Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council authorizes Mayor Scott Steed to enter into a 3-year agreement effective during calendar year 2023, 2024, and 2025 with Blue Moose Sanitation Services to collect, remove, transport, and dispose of any and all garbage for properties participating in the city of Portland's waste collection program as defined and at a cost of $400 per ton of refuse.
I would like to table this. item. It sounds like the committee's gonna meet again. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I would like to table it until after you've met also. We're gonna adopt a new budget that ideally is gonna pay for this, but in order to pay for it, we're gonna have to cut some other things, right?
So just to clarify, this contract for the collection of trash, which has been ongoing,
Right.
Yeah, this,
essentially a continuation of existing
this is
services.
just the collection. This isn't nothing. So we are,
I want to recognize AJ, our city attorney, that can shed some light on some of this.
Hopefully. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was the committee itself. I'm glad you brought that up. But ultimately, like any other public project, of this sort of service, we have to put out a bid. A bid came back from a local company, which is nice, not always the case. And I know that the committee has been meeting on a regular basis. I think what that original RFP reflected is the committee's consensus at that time that we need this type of service, not necessarily the service people. Which we could put on blue bags, but blue bags or this, we still had to have a collection service, which we paid for on a regular basis. And that contract's up in at the end of this year.
Right.
And I don't know where to find it, but the tentative budget accounts for this expense.
yes.
There should not be an increase. in anyone's taxes.
Right.
And just from, blood sucking lawyer's perspective, this will also require a local law change, just with respect to actual collection processes. This agreement will just recognize the winning bid. We put that out, we need trash next year.
Right.
To reflect the committee's wishes. I mean, and the other issue is we're getting down to the wire. It's not the council's fault. It's not Blue Moose's fault. It's just the fact that's where we are. And I would hate to be in a position where we don't have enough time to approve any collection method or approve any local law change, and we don't have a trash service in place for next year. So either way, we're gonna have to approve trash levels.
AJ, have you talked to these people? Are they aware that we might go to the bins? Are they willing to still pick it up if we sign this contract? We're not gonna get locked into it. They just say, well, they don't have the things to pick up the bins.
Right, that's, well, no, and I think that's already included in the contract. I don't have it.
Okay, I'm just making sure that it's included, whether they do
Contract
the
will
way we
allow
are, we
those-
go to the bins.
Right, would allow that process to continue, so we can work out the day-to-day logistics.
Okay.
We're going to a tote system, 24 hours to pick up, and then the RFP reflected all of those things.
Right. Right. But my question is, did we ask from DPW, do we have any understanding around that RFP that clarifies whether or not this would lead in nicely with totes or with blue bags, either way?
The RFP for totals, it's not for the collection. It's a different structure, a different mechanism. That's what we bid on. And the toters are provided into the collection price. So if you sign this, you got 7,500 toters coming. And that's what this contract is for.
Yeah. Already accounted for in the budget with no additional tax dollars. It's a pretty good bid.
I don't want to misspeak, but it's my understanding as a result of that committee's recommendation.
Yeah.
This is the procedure that we were.
Yes.
Yes, yeah,
And we had to get that bid out because our contract was up.
right.
Yes.
And citizens, taxpayers, entitled to trash collection service, whatever that might look like, and because of the committee that we all was appointed here, this is the direction that the city's headed. In an effort to do that, we need to solidify that relationship with this provider.
Yeah.
Which is affordable. I saw the rest of it, I mean, we can swing this into the budget. We need to provide this service. We've got a million other things that our taxpayers are entitled to, like administrative, all these other things that we need to meet on. So I think that was, one of my concerns, without having that final meeting of the trash election committee, whatever that committee's official title was, in advance of seeing this. I think this contract will allow us to benefit from that recommendation in the first instance. And work out the day-to-day logistics, which will be totes, 24-hour collection, recycling included, all of those things. Once we agree to accept their services.
Yes.
Yeah, please keep in mind that, we are running out of time on this and.
Right.
We need to order these bins, which may take several weeks, so, that's why, we're kind of fast tracking this now because, we don't want to be left without a garbage service January 1st.
Of course, I think that the committee would have wanted an opportunity to review this, and they've done a great job bringing us to this point. The mayor has as well. But, it's my position, we gotta move on this.
And 2 weeks would break the deal.
I don't want to put you guys in a position to be scrambling to vote on how we're gonna provide this service on December, whatever, 20th, because we couldn't have the consensus, other than the committee recommending that we needed to move in this direction, which is totes, 24-hour pickup, things like that.
How many totes? Some decide, 500 or something.
Yeah.
That's a
And they
big-
get
The rate at the rate, the resolution.
Can they get them? Can they get them?
Yeah.
By January
Yes.
1? Yes. Okay.
We need to move on it.
But that's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
2 weeks
right.
could really not make it work.
That's right.
Right.
If they are not.
Oh,
The short is like anything else again, so.
They're not notified within the week, it's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it needs to be done.
We need to commence that intimate relationship with them, so we can
Right.
work out that day-to-day and how they're gonna go about taking this over.
The only what I know about the contract, the way it's gonna affect the community, what the community has said they're looking for, what we've gotten together, reviewed and gone over, a lot of information. There really is no other way to go, and I don't see a reason to table it at all. Time is becoming of the essence because of, this is a major change for the city, and it's gonna be a beneficial change, but we've got to get on it.
That's right.
We're under 2 months.
At the same time, you want to check all those procedural boxes.
Yep.
Committee made a recommendation, you have to put it out to bid, you have to select an appropriate bid, bring it back to you nice
Yeah.
folks. Here we go.
And to note that the proposed contract was provided to the council and made available. to the public.
Yes, it was.
Is this company doing single stream recycling? Is that how this is working?
Not sure what.
Yes. Okay. So people can just put everything in that one bin and get sorted after.
Well, no, the trash is one bin, recycling is the other bin.
Yes.
The glass is not recycled, so it is one single
That's
stream.
that way now.
Trash is not recycled.
Okay.
So,
All right.
nope, just here to answer questions.
All right.
Thanks, AJ.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for the
thank you.
discussion.
Thanks, AJ.
I believe right now we have, discussion to table this.
I withdraw that request.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to withdraw. All in,
No.
A motion on the resolution. So,
oh, okay, let's make a motion on the resolution itself. Wayne, first, second. Roll call.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Aye.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 8.
Authorized agreement with CNS Engineers Incorporated for the design of a northeast gateway intermodal corridor to Yapneoga River pedestrian bridge and trail from Neiman Park to Clinton Ave. Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council authorizes Mayor Scott Steve to enter into an agreement with CNS Engineers Incorporated for the design of the northeast gateway intermodal corridor to Yapneoga River pedestrian bridge and trail from Neiman Park to Clinton Ave for a cost not to exceed $550,000.
Discussion.
So moved.
All right. Motion to move. Katie. Billy, second. Discussion.
I'm excited about this. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, this is something that's been in the works for quite some time now. I don't know if everyone's had a chance to go down and take a look of where this is gonna occur. Go down River Street, there's a pathway right near the Hampton Inn there. If you go all the way down to the river, there used to be a bridge there currently, but it was moved several years ago. We're not sure if that footprint will still be used, but that certainly gives you a good idea of where this is gonna end up.
I'll call the roll. Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Hi.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 9.
Approved decrease in building inspection fees pursuant to authority under section 100-16 of the city administrative code. Resolved that pursuant to section 100-16 of the city of Portland administrative code, the common council hereby amends the fee schedule effective January 1st, 2023 for the inspection of non-residential buildings or structures as follows. Structures under 2,000 square feet, $100, which shall include the first hour, and $75 per each additional hour. Structures 2,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet, $200, which shall include the first 2 hours and $75 per additional hour. Structures over 10,000 square feet, $300, which shall include the first 3 hours and $75 per each additional hour.
I so move.
Second.
Pat, or Mary Claire, Wayne, second. Discussion. We do have Roy here tonight, if anyone wants to ask me any questions. Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Hi.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 10.
Authorized fire department vehicle to be declared surplus. Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council authorizes a 2009 Chevy Impala currently in possession and used by the fire department to be declared as surplus, and authorizes the fire chief to advertise said equipment in an appropriate manner as surplus and available for sale. And be it further resolved that the city of Portland Common Council authorizes any revenue generated from the sale of this surplus equipment to be transferred into the fire department budget line for equipment and for equipment repair for future use by the fire department.
I so move. Wayne, Billy, second. Discussion.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
Hi.
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Regarding agenda item number 11, fire chief was to provide some information prior to tonight's meeting. But I believe with that fire this afternoon, he's tied up. This one, I would probably recommend that we table this.
Motion to table.
Troy, Billy, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Agenda item number 12.
Authorized agreement for repair of headquarters fire station lobby floor. Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council authorizes Mayor Scott Steve to enter into an agreement with B&B Flooring of Dryden, New York for $6,006.63 to supply and install resilient sheet with flash covering, removal and replacement of existing wood base, preparation and removal of existing floor, with the costs to come from fire department budget line A 3410-540500.
Motion? Pat. Cory, second. Discussion.
So were there, quotes on this one or no? Did it come under a threshold?
We received another bid on it.
Okay.
The current policy, and this was a lower bid.
Okay.
Kind of a unique thing, and obviously everything's unique as fire station, right? So everything's unique at the fire department, so to do the floor and the lobby, the second floor, it takes special operation. The mayor is involved in this with his expertise, so.
No, I appreciate the rationale. Thank you.
Thank you, chief. Anyone else? Roll call.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter. Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 13.
Authorize appropriation of funding reimbursement for hazardous materials response. Resolved that the city of Portland Common Council recognizes the reimbursement of $60,405.26 in cost for hazardous material incident response and authorizes the appropriation of funds to the following city budget lines. $10,014.46 to an account for shift manning. $49,952.59 to an account for tools and equipment. $438.21 to an account for operating equipment. And be it further resolved that the city of Portland Common Council authorizes the fire department to use these funds to offset costs for equipment used for the incident and also for future acquisition of paging devices for department members and portable radio equipment to replace that which has become unserviceable.
I so. I'll second.
Pat first.
Not me.
Wayne, all right, Wayne first, Mary Claire second. Just to bring some light to this with regards to the river cleanup that we've gone through here a few months ago. When the spill occurred on 81 over the overpass. In case anyone is wondering. So do we have a roll call?
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 14.
Recognition and appropriation of fund reimbursement for water rescue response. Resolved that the common council accepts reimbursement of $18,707.76 for the cost of response and authorizes its appropriation of fire department budget line for special operations. And be it further resolved that the city of Portland Common Council authorizes the fire department to use these funds to offset costs for equipment upgrades.
So moved.
Wayne first, we have a second. Billy. Discussion.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter.
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 15.
Accept and recognize donation to the Portland Fire Department. Resolved that the common council accepts the donations listed below and appropriates funds to the Portland Fire Department donation account earmarked for automated external defibrillators, defibrillator replacement. Donation from Rich and Ann McDonough, made in memory of City Fire Auxiliary Charter member Beverly Froman, in the amount of $25 to account TE-00-2044.
So moved.
Wayne first. We have a second. Troy second. Just want to thank Rich and Ann for their generous donation. It was deeply appreciated. Roll call.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith,
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 16.
Accept and recognize donation to the Portland Fire Department. Resolved that the common council accepts the donations listed below received during the fire department's annual open house and appropriates funds to the Portland Fire Department donation account earmarked for the Here Comes Santa event. Donation by volunteer firefighter Kristen Gregory through her work doing face paintings in the amount of $49 to account TE-00-2100.
I so move.
Wayne moves one, Billy number two. Discussion. I want to thank Kristen Gregory for a generous donation. Deeply appreciated. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson, Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith,
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 17.
Authorized transfer of funds from Youth Bureau to Fire Department for equipment. Resolved that the City of Portland Common Council authorizes the transfer of $1,771.87 from the City Youth Bureau budget line A714-5206 to the City Fire Department budget line A3410-540500 for the contribution to the full payment of $5,315.60, which will be paid by the fire department.
I so move.
Very clear. Yeah, second. Any discussion? Just wanna, not sure how all three are gonna share in this ice machine, but I hope it works out with all parties. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Agenda item number 18.
Accept and recognize donation to the Portland Youth Bureau. Resolved that the common council accepts the donations listed below and appropriates funds to the Portland Youth Bureau operating budget accounts outlined below. Donation from Timothy Walsh in the amount of $1,000 for a lacrosse project into budget line designated as the Jerry Walsh Memorial Fund.
We have a motion.
Seth.
Seth. Second.
I'll second.
Katie, second. Discussion. Certainly want to thank Timothy Walsh for his generous donation. Deeply appreciated. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Sullivan,
I,
Councilmember Pinello,
Aye.
Councilmember Lane,
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Councilmember Carpenter,
Aye.
Councilmember Beckwith.
Aye.
Councilmember Michaels.
Aye. Okay, last, we do have two discussion items. First one being water meter replacement notices. I believe this applies to Ward number 4. Those who live in Ward number 4, you can either log on to the city's website under Water Department to schedule your appointment to have your water meter replaced, or you can also call the Water Department. They prefer if you can log on to the city's website, give you several options to pick the time of day, which is convenient for you, is also convenient to the Water Department. But if you don't have those means, you can certainly call in and schedule an appointment. But we do like to get all these replaced as soon as possible. Do we have any questions? No? Next, discussion item is Parker School. AJ is here to, give us an update.
Talk a little bit about that. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Everyone's familiar with where we find ourselves with that property. Fortunate as it may be. But what I can say is that the mayor has been working diligently to find an appropriate resolution, not only for taxpayers, but need-based as well. And you guys probably remember that this property is subject to incredible regulations, tax and otherwise. So whatever that resolution that this council is faced with, when we find one appropriate, those things need to be considered. We have to check all those boxes. We don't want to create an additional financial burden for the city. So, and that process includes bringing Dasney to the table. Obviously, they're the curators of the bond that property is subject to. And we want to make sure that that is something that we aren't necessarily stuck with paying on long term. What I can say is that through those efforts, I feel very correctly, Tom, I think there's 2 agencies that have looked at this property and are extremely interested. 2 developers as well, which is great news, because we got to get the ball rolling. We want people to look at that property. We want people to bring something else or whatever this community can benefit from to it. Something that building or property is appropriate for. But again, we need the state's input. We need to make sure that those regulatory boxes are checked, so we don't find ourselves with an issue down the road. And obviously, that conversation will involve the school district as the not-for-profit that we inherited this from. I know that I've already spoken to Dasney on multiple occasions as well as bond council. We have another meeting scheduled to discuss what that might look like on the next level. You know, if people come to the table and have appropriate uses for this property or make the right offers, subject to council approval, referendum, whatever that might look like, that this is going to be a benefit. We don't find ourselves in a similar situation as unfortunate as it may be. I think I went to Parker. I live near there. I think that everyone wanted to see that become some sort of child care facility, but couldn't swing it. So whatever that resolution might look like, we want to make sure that it's done with council approval, with community support, with DAS's sign off.
Absolutely, yeah, this is something that, at some point, we're gonna fast track. Longer we hang on to this sitting idle, it's gonna create more problems for, city taxpayers. Mayor is, diligently working hard to find someone, to occupy that building. And, all the support that we can give him at this point, certainly needed, to help, his process, to move this project along.
Despite the budget, despite the search committee, search for administrator, this is a priority for the mayor, and it should be. He's on it. As the committee is as well. So we want to make sure that everyone's up to speed. Once we have that information to present, I want to put the cart before the horse before the, whatever that phrase is. But action has been taken. Thanks, guys. But I'm here to answer questions if you have any. We schedule another meeting with Dasney. We're trying to be as upfront with them as possible, so there's no surprises for them or for us down the road, because the financial implications are considerable. So
We have spent a lot of money on that
right,
already. You're probably not even
and it
aware
will
of it.
require more.
Yeah. So we need to act on it.
Absolutely.
Whatever that move is, we gotta.
Agreed.
Between Dasney and bond holders, are there limitations on use?
Well, as you know, maybe when we took title, the reason that happened that way is because the school district wanted their involvement in it. They didn't have to more or less pay down that lien. Which is why we're bringing Dasney to the table. I'm not gonna pretend to be bond counsel. I'm not gonna pretend to know all of those regulatory requirements by heart. So whatever those uses might look like, if we have to go that way, or if we don't, I don't know. But I think putting those players in the same room will find that appropriate answer, whatever it might look
Agreed.
It's a multifaceted
Oh.
problem, multifaceted.
I've been
Emphasis on
pounding at the state level, so they don't forget about us. Make sure that we can move on this. as quickly as possible.
And agreed, we're certainly gonna keep everyone
Right.
up to date as we progress through this. It is a sensitive item that, yeah, keep in mind that, when we first looked at this, we were expecting, partial rental, already in this building, this time this year, and it didn't happen. So now with winter approaching, we have some other costs that, we have to consider.
How can we get to a point with this building, whatever that is, that doesn't increase our financial
Right.
stake?
Deficit.
So stay tuned.
Thanks, AJ. Is there anything else that needs to, come before the council tonight, before we adjourn?
Just really quickly, I just wanted to clarify water meter replacements wards 4 and 5.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So when you guys start getting calls, that, you know.
Thank you, Nick.
There we go, thank you. I'm glad you're here tonight, Nick. Is there anything else, come before the council tonight? Okay, make a motion to adjourn. Katie first, Troy second. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Good job.
You know what?
You're-
Oh,